for a moment. Everybody have a seat for a moment. Thank you. Very good. All right, so there is a big E word that you guys have been talking about so far this week. What is the word that begins with the letter E? Say it. Evidence. That's right. So we've been talking about evidence this week. You've talked about so far, most likely we've talked about 3 different types of evidence. The first one you probably talked about yesterday was eyewitness evidence. That is when someone has seen something and they can tell you that it is true. They saw it with their own eyes. They know that it's true. Some of you may have talked about it yesterday or today. Another kind of evidence called background evidence. Written evidence, that's something that talks about, sometimes we call it context evidence. It's the family around something or somebody close to something that may not have seen it, but they can verify that it's true based off of what they know about the circumstances. And then the third kind of evidence, some of you may not have got to yet, but you will get to, is confirmed or verified evidence. That means we know 100% that it's true and they wrote it down so that we can believe that it's true. So those are the kinds of evidence that we've talked about so far this week. So to help you, I was trying to figure out, and somebody told me, hey, why don't you go grab this, and this will help you. I said, all right, well, we'll see how it goes. What is this? Okay, it's a flashlight. How do we know that it's a flashlight? Because it's a flashlight. Okay, well, it looks like a flashlight. It's got a little bulb. You probably can't see the bulb from there, but it looks like a flashlight. It has a bulb like a flashlight. It has this. What's this? A switch. So everything you know in your life tells you that you've used a flashlight or seen a flashlight kind of like this. So when you see it, you say, that's a flashlight. Okay? That's kind of eyewitness evidence. That's context evidence. Those are the things that you know because you've had experience or have seen a flashlight in some way, so you knew this was a flashlight. Now, is this a working flashlight? Okay, I hear some no's, I heard some yeses. Okay, it's a trick question. Oh, hang on. It's a trick question because you don't know if it's a working flashlight or not. Why? Because I haven't turned it on yet, right? So we know it's a flashlight, but we don't know if it works or not. Now, a little piece of paper comes with almost every flashlight and almost every little device or something you get. That piece of paper is called what? Instructions. So the instructions tell us what the flashlight's supposed to do. It tells us how to make the flashlight work. Okay? So it tells us things that we need to know to use this flashlight. All right, but now we have some evidence that we know it's a flashlight, but what we don't know is whether it's a working flashlight or not. So we want to use the evidence that we know about and talked about so far to figure out if this is a working flashlight. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to turn it on. Okay, all right, so drum roll. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's not a working flashlight. Okay, so what does it most likely have to work? Batteries. Who brought my batteries? Anybody? Oh, I have some batteries here? No? Okay, well, fortunately I brought some batteries. Okay, sorry. I figured you didn't have any. So, we have batteries. So now we put batteries in it. Okay, it was a dead flashlight, and now we put power in it, so hopefully it's going to kind of come alive. It's going to work now. So what's going to happen now when I push this button? All right, drum roll. Let's see. Oh, there it goes. It does work. That was about to be a total fail. All right, the flashlight works. Good. Okay. So you guys have learned this week about how to verify that something is what it's supposed to be. We've talked about Jesus, how Jesus said he was God. We have an eyewitness that said he was that was there. John the Baptist has said Jesus is God's son. We talked about context, evidence, Jesus' family, the New Testament, Old Testament prophecies. So just like, and we talked about confirmed evidence, which is verified. That means it was written down in the New Testament. Roman soldiers who were professional killers killed Jesus, so they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was, in fact, dead when they took him off the cross. Just like this flashlight, until we do something with that evidence, it's just evidence. We have to make a choice in life. What do we do with the evidence? Now, we can't go back to Jerusalem, to the grave, and look at Jesus' body and check his pulse and those things. We can't do that. I'll give you a little bit of the secret. That's because his body's not there. He's alive. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay? But today, so we can't go back. We can't touch his body. We can't confirm that he's dead. But we have all this written evidence that says Jesus is dead. Jesus lived a good life, but more than that, Jesus lived a perfect life. Jesus was more than a good man. We have all this evidence. And so what we're going to talk about tomorrow and Thursday is each one of you have to make a decision. What do we do with the evidence? Do we trust the evidence and believe in Jesus, or do we not? The evidence all says that Jesus is God's Son who died for us, and he was in fact dead, but we'll talk about as he was alive, is alive, he was raised from the dead. Now what do we do with the evidence? That's what we'll talk about tomorrow.